All right. Hey, everyone. How's it going? Is everything okay? All right. Thank you for joining me. That's nice. Okay. Seems good. All right. All right. So, hey, everyone. Thank you for being here on this random Wednesday. That's today. Yeah. That's nice. Hey. What's UGC? That's user-generated content, which is Unity's latest tool, which I've been researching. So over here, the plan for this live stream is basically add a bunch of modding, see how the tool works. So it should be interesting. Basically, I was going to research this by my own, but then I figured, well, if I'm going to do it, why not do it during a live stream? So let's see it. All right. Okay. So basically, I want to do a bit of work. So hopefully this will be interesting, entertaining, educational. I'm not sure, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. Okay. All right. So, and feel free to ask any questions and I'll try to answer whilst trying to work at the same time. That's always the big challenge, but okay. Chad Monkey. Yeah, sure. Thank you. I take that as a compliment. So yeah. All right. Okay. How does it work, the modding? Well, that's what I'm going to build right now. So basically over here, I've got my game Kitchen Chaos. So that's a game that I built during the free course. And basically with this, I'm going to be working on how to add user-generated recipes and things like that. So it should be interesting. Would be user-generated code. For this one, I'm just going to make it assets. So just database, so no code. But technically the tool, I think, does support code. And actually, one interesting thing that I've been wanting to research for quite some time, but still haven't done it, is Lua. So that is supposedly a really nice scripting language that a lot of mods use. So that's one of those things that I've had on my to-do list to research for quite a while, but still haven't been able to find it. But yeah, that should be interesting. All right, okay, so let me get started trying to build it. Okay, so first thing that I want to do is the game has a bunch of fixed, Lua and Roblox. Yeah, Roblox uses Lua quite a lot, yeah. Yeah, so the first thing that I want to do is to be able to create some dynamic kitchen object, because right now, all of these are all fixed, so these are all over here on edit time, so I want to be able to edit one in runtime. So that essentially means that I've got to instantiate one of these scriptable objects in runtime, then assign all these fields and something like that. Okay, all right, so that sounds like a good start. So let's begin. Let's create a new C# script for the kitchen game UGC, something like this. Like FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's. For me, horror is one of those things that I just can't handle. So for me, that actually kind of sucks, seeing so many people praise things like Resident Evil and something like that. But for me, horror, I really can't handle it. So yeah, I wish I could enjoy the things that those people enjoy. But yeah, I really can't. Horror is way too much for me. Where'd you learn all this coding thing? Well, by writing tons and tons of code over the past, it's almost been 25 years. So yeah, if you write tons and tons of code, over time you will learn and everything becomes much easier. So yeah, experience truly is the most important thing. All right, okay. So on this one, first thing that I want to do is I need to instantiate a new kitchen object. And for that, I think it's through scriptable object, create an instance. Okay, let's create an instance of type kitchen object SO. All right, so this is going to give me a new kitchen object SO. Okay. So then I just need to assign everything. So I need to assign a name, let's say test. Then I'm going to need to assign, yeah, that's the thing. I need a prefab. So this is the part that is going to be quite tricky. And then I need a sprite. But for now, let's just find something up here. So just a serialized field for a debug prefab. And then one for the sprite, just a sprite. Okay. Stream avatar is half-bound. Well, if you want, you can actually customize your own avatar. So if you want, you can draw and you can come up with your own thing. Just if you do it, just let me know. There's a nice guide over here on the website, so you can customize. You can do some basic customization, or you can actually draw on top and do a bunch of things and draw just about anything. So that should be fun. And if you're curious as to how this whole thing works, I've actually got links to various tutorials that I covered over here. So if you want to see that, yep. How do you duplicate lines fast? What is the hotkey for it? It's literally just Control-C, Control-V, just select a line just like this. So instead of selecting something, just sound like this, Control-C, Control-V, and just duplicates the line. And then another one that is super useful is Control-X to cut an entire line. So just those two shortcuts are super useful. All right, so over here, I'm going to be using a debug prefab and a sprite. Okay, so now let's go back into Unity. And over here, I'm going to need to assign, so the debug prefab. Now for that, I'm going to need to something. Say you've been coding for 25 years. Can anyone confirm that? Yep. I mean, I started when I was 10 years old by making IRC scripts, and now I'm almost 35. So yeah, it's been 25 years, quite a long time. All right, so first thing I need is a prefab. So let me just drag this random cube, make it into a prefab. Okay. All right. So there's gonna, yeah, that's all I need. So just drag the cube prefab and the sprite. Let me choose something random. Let's say the warning sprite. Okay, so that pretty much creates a kitchen object dynamically. Then for testing, for picking it up, let me just make a nice container. So let me select. Start 10 years old, yeah. I mean, I started making super basic things, so don't be confused on, you know, when I was 10 years old, I wasn't doing the things that I'm doing nowadays. So yeah, I did start that age, but definitely with a completely different skill set. Everything starts off much easier, but yeah. What is UGC? That's user-generated content. Okay, so I need the container, and basically on this container, I need to assign my generated kitchen object SO so that I can pick it up. So that should be fun. So up here, let me just add a reference for the, oh, not caps, container counter. Let's add this one. So then over here, let me just drag the reference. VS Code instead of Visual Studio. Yeah, I did use it when I made the turn-based strategy course. I was indeed using VS Code instead of Visual Studio. And I don't know, I prefer Visual Studio. Just seems, honestly, for no specific reason, they are like 99% the same, given the kind of things that I do with them. So either one works, but yeah, I'm so used to Visual Studio. There's really no need to do something different. It works perfectly fine, does everything that I want. It looks exactly the same, so yeah, pretty much just stick with it. What about starting a game company? Not really. I mean, my skill set is more learning things by myself and working by myself. So the idea of managing a company, managing a bunch of people, that really does not appeal to me. So yeah, for me, it's I'm very happy making games pretty much just by myself, just doing, oh crap, that's not it. So yeah, for me, I really just prefer working by myself, doing my things. Yeah, I'm not opposed to working with others, just I'm definitely not good at managing people, so yeah, that is something that would not suit me. Okay, so set the kitchen object SO. Let me receive a kitchen object SO, and then over here just set it. So then on this one, it's not set kitchen object, but the kitchen object SO. Okay, so I'm just going to set it, and now the player should actually be able to interact with this generated kitchen object SO. Should be nice. A game like TFT, is that Teamfight Tactics? Yeah, that should be fun. That was an interesting genre. The what is it called? Auto battlers. Yeah, that was a fun genre. It came in, it suddenly exploded, but then didn't really build into too much. That is one genre that I've wanted to explore for quite a bit. Okay, so let me just test. What do I mean by modding? I mean adding things after the game is done. So pretty much over here, I'm trying to add some recipes, and nope, got an error. Okay, what is the error? What is null? Oh right, it needs to have a kitchen object. Okay. So once I do this, yeah, it's on the debug prefab. So let me get a transform for the prefab, and I'm going to instantiate just so that I make a copy of this one. So I instantiate that one. I use this one as debug prefab. And then on this prefab, I need to, that's not the one, on this prefab game object, add component of type kitchen object. And on the kitchen object, I need to set the kitchen object as so. I think that's all it takes. So let's see. Right, I need to implement this. So let's see. UGC, is this going to be a video? Yep, I'm pretty much just doing research right now, but yep, that is the goal, to make it a video. The tool is currently in open alpha, so let me just write this just a second. Just Unity UGC, because they've already announced the tool. Yep, there you go. If you want to know the tool, it is currently in open alpha or open beta? Open beta, there it is. So yeah, if you want to start looking into it, yeah, that's pretty much the tool that I'm trying to research right now. I've tried making your own custom game engine. No, that is making a game engine. It sounds fun. It is one thing that I would love to be able to do at some point. But yeah, making a game engine is really just it's an extremely complex thing, building everything from scratch. So yeah, usually the advice is either you want to make a game or you want to make a game engine. You can't really do both. So you gotta pick one or the other. So I'd love to research it at one point, just learn how to work with OpenGL or DirectX, learning how to work it really close to the metal. That would be a fun thing. So if I could find time, I would love to research that. But yeah, pretty much if you want to make a game, then just use a game engine, whatever game engine takes. Yeah. Okay, so set kitchen object over here. I'm going to set it and set it to this kitchen object as well. Okay, so like this, the player should be able to pick up that one. So let's see if it does work. Any reason why? The reason why you didn't use a capsule collider, doing physics.cast seems a bit hard. There's always many ways to solve any problem, and for that is actually a very common question. I've got that question plenty of times. So over here on the course website, there's all kind of FAQ. So that one's on the character controller. So over here, yep, the question, so why move a transform to a capsule cast instead of a rigid body in the collider? And the answer is there are many options. So you could definitely use that if you wanted. Oh, crap. That is one valid option, and in this case I just did it just to avoid using rigid bodies, because the entire goal for this course was to prepare for the second course, which is on making in multiplayer. And in multiplayer you should really avoid using rigid bodies whenever possible. So that's the main reason why I chose to go with a capsule cast, pretty much just handling it manually instead of using a rigid body. But yeah, using a rigid body in the collider, that works just fine. So if you want, definitely do that. Hey, new channel member, Juliano. Hey, thank you. All right, thanks for becoming a member. That's nice. Thank you. Okay. What was I doing? Oh, right. I was trying to see if this works. And there you go. Look at that. I've got a custom kitchen object. It's just a cube, but technically it is a kitchen object. Can I even deliver this? Or, well, I guess not, because it's not on a plate. Can I add it onto a plate? That's a good question. Can I go? Nope. All right, so I need to add it onto. All right, great. So, but just like this, I am indeed creating some dynamic objects in runtime. Okay, so that's great. All right. Boy, so many questions. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up, trying to work and answer questions at the same time. Yeah. Make time increase with delivery. Yep, that would be, if you wanted to make this game a bit more challenging, a bit more score-based, then yep, that would be one excellent improvement. Turn shape, making a character builder using blend shapes. Oh, that's interesting. Blend shapes is actually something that I haven't used too much. There's not that many asset packs that have it. But yeah, they are really interesting. It's a really great way of adding customization. Although, yeah, my question is, how do you actually do that as a 3D modeler? Do you have to, yeah, I assume you have to position all the bones and then say modifying this slider modifies this bone in this direction. It's an interesting topic. Definitely something that I would love to research. Okay, so yeah. Do you think it's best to start as a beginner? Well, I mean, this is a Unity channel, so I'm going to say Unity, but I'm also going to say any engine is great. Nowadays, really, as game developers, we are spoiled for choice. If you choose Unity or Unreal or Godot, there's pretty much no wrong answer. So whatever you do, just pick something and yeah, pick something and start learning. That's much more important than actually trying to pick the perfect thing and being stuck forever. So just pick something and start learning. Bones in Blender first, then rigged up in Unity. Oh, that's interesting, yeah. I wonder how that process works, because yeah, blend shapes, they are indeed quite interesting, but not many asset packs seem to have them. So, well, actually, usually I stick with low poly assets, so maybe that's why. I think more realistic art style benefits quite a bit more from blend shapes, so maybe those do tend to have them. Okay, just over here, just a quick one on the game object. Let me set active into false. Except, it's actually a good question. How do I spawn a prefab, but then can I disable it from the scene? So I think this is actually going to... So I never tried creating a prefab for something. If I go in there, pick it up. Yep, there you go. He did pick it up, but it is invisible. All right, so This is a bit annoying, spawning the prefab, but well, I guess I can just set the prefab.position equals new vector 3. Let's put it on 1000, just so that it doesn't show up over there in the middle. Your YouTube video, that's nice, thank you. He's not using dark mode. Yeah, for me, dark mode really destroys my eyes, so yeah, that is definitely not something that I can use. All right, awesome. So here I am moving around a random ingredient, which is just a queue, but yep, that does work. Okay, all right, great. Considered to be the most successful indie dev on YouTube. I mean, that really depends on what niche you're talking about. I mean, in terms of devlogs, there are so many channels so much bigger than me. The obvious question is Danny, so yeah. But yeah, honestly, the main thing is there's so much content, so many awesome things. So if you go to, crap, this is the issue. So search, for example, TaraDev has a great channel, a bunch of tutorials, all of them really nice. This one on sine waves, this one is really cool. Then Sam Yam also has some great ones. I was looking at a bunch of our input system videos. So yeah, tons of awesome stuff, yeah. So yeah, if you want to learn game dev on YouTube, then yeah, thankfully nowadays there's tons and tons of options. Basically, when I got started, there was no such thing. So yeah, if I was starting today, things would be quite a bit easier, which would be fun. So yeah, it's always great. Okay, great. So let me just think. Notification for yeah, it's not broken, just manual. So once again, thank you so much, Leon. Thank you for becoming a channel member. That's nice. Okay, let me think. What do I want to do? I would want to make some kind of recipe, and then I'll worry about uploading it to UGC and downloading and so on. Okay, so for now, let me make a custom dynamic recipe. So in order to be able to do that, first I need to actually be able to add it to the plate. And in order to be able to add ingredients onto the plate, I need to, what do I do? That's a good question. Is it on the plate prefab? On the plate prefab, yep, it does have a valid kitchen object that's on list. Okay, so let me, where's the, oh, do I need a reference to the prefab itself? Right, because this is spawn. Oh, that's actually a good question. I'm trying to think. Does the prefab update? Well, yes, it doesn't matter because it happens in the beginning. Anyways, right. So I need a plate kitchen object prefab. So let me go into my UGC script, and over here let me add a plate kitchen object for the plate kitchen object prefab. So I'm going to take that one and pretty much on the valid, yeah, right, I need to access it. So let me go into this one. This one has a valid kitchen object list. Okay. So public void add kitchen object SO to valid list, and going to receive a kitchen object SO. And on the valid kitchen object SO list, let's add this one. So then on this one, let me add kitchen object SO, this kitchen object SO. And just with this, hopefully I should be able to add my dynamic object onto that one. So that should be fun. Would you start making games with? Well, I first started making games just with text-based things. So just modding Mirk and doing a bunch of IRC scripts. And I forgot the reference, of course. But then afterwards, I spent quite a bunch of time making Flash games. So that was really awesome. Flash really was an amazing thing. It's such a shame that it died. But yeah, for me, Flash really helped me. In the about 5 years that I was working with Flash, I managed to create about 40 games on all kinds of genres, and that really helped me on my own learning process. So that was really great for me learning how to do things. Hey, there you go, it works. Oh crap, that's the issue. The visual, yeah, it does show up the icon, but it doesn't. Okay, Gonna be tricky. But you make chat able to interact with the live stream. That is using the YouTube API. So actually, we've got a bunch of tutorials on the, here it is. This is where you can customize your live stream character, and down here at the bottom, it is talking about how you use this. So first, the main thing is really the HTTP request in order to interact with the YouTube API. And with that, yep, you can do all kinds of things. Okay, so here, right, this is actually one issue that I wasn't thinking about. Yeah, because the way that I handle the plate, that one, Okay. I guess I need to add the visual onto the... All right, yeah, that's gonna be tricky. But anyways, for now, let me just try to, yeah, deliver that one. That one failed. Okay, so let me, but anyways, now I can add it onto that one. And now let's go into that one. Teach about game marketing. Well, I made a full video on that. So if you want, I highly encourage, well, there's a bunch of videos, but the main one is the, it's actually not here. It's the most important thing, yeah. If you want to learn about marketing, which is extremely important, definitely go ahead and that, yeah. Right. Okay, so let me just, okay, so like this, I can generate a new kitchen object in runtime, so that's great. Then I can add to a kitchen counter, I can do all kinds of things, okay, so that's good. I can add them to a plate. So the next thing is really just creating a recipe and being able to generate that recipe. Okay, multiplayer game with reconnect feature. That's depends on what you mean by that. I'm guessing you mean actually changing hosts, which is quite difficult. Whereas reconnect, that is actually quite simple. You just literally connect again, and everything will connect. Visual C# is essential for splitting up code things. Learning how to use interfaces, generics. But yeah, there's no one single C# thing. It's more about how you use all the tools at your disposal. That is the main thing. Yeah. Okay, so let me do that. Let me create a new recipe. So let me remember which one was my thing. So the recipe SO. Okay. So I need to create the recipe SO and I need to add it onto the list. And just with that, it should spawn. So let me add a reference for the recipe list SO, okay, for the recipe list SO. I'm going to need a reference to that, and then I'm going to need to create, so let me just go into scriptable object, create an instance of type recipe SO, okay, so this is my new recipe SO, and on this recipe SO, what do I have? It's just a list of kitchen objects. So for the recipe name, my recipe, and for the recipe SO for the kitchen object list, let me just, ooh, actually that's a good question. Is this going to throw an error? I'm actually not sure. Do I need to initialize it? We shall see, I guess. Okay. So that adds a recipe SO. On the recipe list SO, let me just add, yeah, that one doesn't have an add. It has a recipe SO list. Let me add this recipe. Okay, great. So that should actually do it. All right, so that should be fun. Made your website. Yep, I made it myself, which isn't, yeah, it's that is why it doesn't look perfect, because I'm definitely not a great web developer, but it is functional. So yeah, at least that is functional. So that's good. But yeah. Okay, got an error because obviously I forgot to drag a reference. It's always the same thing. Let's see. All right. PHP, yep, it is in PHP. That is, I'm not familiar with all of the various JavaScript libraries, so for me, I just stick with basic PHP. Okay, so this is the error, so apparently I do need to initialize it. So a new list, and inside let me put the kitchen object SO. Okay. Hello, all right. Time is it? 11:50. Okay. All right, so no errors so far. The main thing is waiting for, is it going to spawn my recipe? Let's see, no, Mega Burger, no, come on, spawn my own. Actually, let me check the, oh crap, I'm actually sort of messing up something. Oh, it did spawn. Type mismatch, really? I guess because it's dynamic? Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen that happen before. Yeah, why does this one say type mismatch? Because apparently it is correct, so there it is, my recipe. So if I pick up one of these, pick up a cube, for some reason people want to eat cubes, I don't know why. Okay, so I add the cube on there. Now if I deliver it, if there you go, works. All right, awesome. Okay, so that is great. Going to be a course 2? No, it's going to be a standalone tutorial on using user-generated content, pretty much adding more mods and things. Your voice sounds sick, yep. I'm physically fine, but yeah, my nose is all clogged up. It's been like this for 1 week. I actually wanted to make this live stream last week, but I was all messed up, and today, I don't know, I'm pretty much tired of waiting for my voice to come back to normal, so that is why I decided to do it right away. Okay, so this did work. I was able to generate a brand new kitchen object at runtime. I was able to add it onto a plate, and I was able to deliver the recipe. So that was actually pretty good. And now if I leave, yeah, this is actually the problem. How am I going to handle a cleanup? That's an interesting question. Maybe I add another list? Oh, that is tricky. That is actually interesting. I mean, it's not a problem. I can just manually delete it, but on the recipe list SO, let me see, how many references do I have to this? It's actually just one. Yeah. So it could actually... Trying to think, could I merge two recipes together? Okay. Basically, the issue is that I'm modifying... It's actually interesting because this is kind of like what I covered in the scriptable objects video, which is how in the editor, this is actually modifying the scriptable object, whereas if this was running on build, this would actually not be a problem because the scriptable object would never be modified. Okay, I think right now I'll just leave it like this, do it manually, and then I will see. Okay, 23 course made me want to learn code again. Thank you for the great course. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, that's really great. Hey, best of luck in your learning journey. That's cool. Make a second list. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. But then over here, it would merge both lists, so that would be a bit annoying. But yeah, I do think that is probably the best course of action. So I do UGC recipe SO list, and then the only references over here on this one. So this one, I would do a public list of recipe SO, get full recipe SO list, and over here just return a new, let me make a new list of recipe SO. So recipe SO list, let me actually call it the full recipe SO list. Then on this one, let's add range, add the basic recipe SO and the UGC recipe SO, just return the full recipe SO. So yeah, like this does work. It's a bit annoying how it's pretty much wasting memory, but really that's not quite an issue. So list of recipe SO, so the recipe SO list, just go into the recipe list SO in order to get the full recipe SO list. And then I just access this one and this one. And like this, yep, it's going to do both of them. And then on the other side, on the kitchen game UGC, what support modding are you adding? Right now, I'm just adding mod support for the game in order to be able to dynamically generate some recipes and some things. And afterwards, yep, it will be implementing Unity's UGC, which is their user-generated content tool, which they've just launched into open beta. So this is what I am researching. Okay, so where was I? Well, this one add, except I... instead of add, let me, yeah, all I got to do is basically just initialize it and then add it, and this way it doesn't quite matter, right? Yeah, initialization can be simplified. Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. Okay, so let me, so that one has 0, but now as I spawn, it should have 1 entry, okay. And there's actually an error. Why is there an error? Value cannot be null. What value? What? UI elements? Okay, that's odd, because I'm not using UI elements. Alright. Anyways, so now I close, and that one still has a missing recipe. That's fine, because now if I select it again, start a new one, it should destroy that one and spawn a brand new one. And yep, there you go, type mismatch, although this is very strange. Apparently the Unity UI is having some weird bug, parameter Unity self. Okay, that's strange. Apparently Unity UI has some weird bug. What if I don't select the object? Unity UGC was not a thing back when I added it. Yeah, this is a recent tool, but yeah, it is similar to Steam Workshop. Of course, the obvious benefit is that Steam Workshop only works on Steam, whereas this works anywhere. So you can use this for like game jam games that you publish on itch. You could definitely use this to add some modding for that. So that should be fun. Okay, so that worked. It just didn't spawn the recipe that I want. Let me actually modify this one. Let me put this one just 1 and then mine. That way it increases the odds that that one is going to work. Yeah, 22 has some weird bugs. Yeah, I can't wait for 22 to actually go into LTS, which should be hopefully soon. It's already on 22.2.17 and we're in the middle of that. So yeah, Dave, your life as a game dev. I'm definitely not good at making kind of vlog content, so I don't know. I enjoy watching those videos, but I don't think I'd be able to make an interesting one. So yeah, that would be interesting. But yeah, I need to learn how to work with cameras to do all kinds of real life footage and so on. At Zone. Nope, I've never seen it. I've seen the movie though. That was fun. The Eurovision movie. That had some interesting songs. So that was interesting. All right. So basically, with this, I have successfully added some dynamic recipe. All right. Okay. Build a website using custom code. Yep, it is. I wrote it all using PHP from scratch. So yeah, no website builder, no WordPress, all of it like that. All right. Okay. So let me think. Okay. So like this, it is already working. I can already generate a new kitchen object. I can spawn the visual, which is actually going to be quite tricky, but anyways, I can add it to the list. I can create a recipe and do that. All right. So, okay, so now actually the next tricky thing is how on earth am I going to... Okay, let me think. Because basically, all right, so like this, it is working. Now I need to somehow serialize all this data, put it in some kind of binary something, except sprites. That is going to be a tricky thing. Okay, so let me try to convert the kitchen object SO into a save file. Yeah, I think the prefab is going to be the tricky thing. How do I synchronize the mesh? How do I make that into a moddable thing? Okay, so let's start by doing a public class for, I don't know, modded kitchen object SO, something like this. So now inside of it, inside I'm going to need a string for the name, so that's pretty basic. Actually, this one shouldn't be the name, should it? Yeah, it should be the object name, so I've been using this wrong. Doesn't really matter, but anyways. Okay, so I got the object name. Then I'm going to need the sprite, but for the sprite, it's actually not going to be the sprite. It's going to be some kind of PNG, right? Yes. Oh, so many messages. Like working with cameras and modding and vlogging. That about day in your life video with a cutscene. Cutscene made with Cynthia. That would be a fun idea. I don't know. That could be fun. That could be interesting. Does modding works online? Well, yeah. I mean, modding is really just being able to dynamically load more data onto your game. So, yep. What is UGC? That's user-generated content, which is Unity's recent tool, which I'm currently researching in order to be able to make a video in the future. Okay, so basically for the modded kitchen object SO, I'm going to need an object name that I'm going to need... Actually, yeah, I'm thinking about this a bit wrong. Hey, new channel member. Thank you. Agile3105. What does the numbers mean? Thank you so much. Hey, thank you for becoming a channel member. I don't like making top-down games. I don't know. I just do. I like an overhead camera. I like strategy games. I like being able to see things. So yeah. Okay, so basically like this, it is all working. Now the next step is, instead of using prefabs and sprites, I need to be able to dynamically load based on just my birthday. Wow, so you're from the future. That's fun. I need to be able to, so, okay. Let me grab some texture. Actually, I had some things that I was trying out. Yeah, I've got a nice gamepad over here. And actually, yeah, I was already researching this a while ago, and I got a bunch of things. How was I unloading it? I was doing a file open. I always fear that I'm writing code the wrong way. I mean, not the code itself, but the game mechanics. If it works, it works. Yeah, sure, that's the main thing. If it works, then great, it works. And then over time, obviously, it's being able to do it, not just that it works, but that it works, and importantly, that it continues working in the future. So, yeah, that's kind of the thing. In the beginning, yep, just working, that's win enough. But if it just works, but it's really dirty, then as the game development continues, then it becomes harder and harder to implement things, add more things. So that is why clean code is so important. It is not necessarily because it makes it better as you write it right away, but rather when you come back to it after a week, after a month, you can still understand the code. Whereas if you write it quick and dirty, you will probably not understand it after quite some time. Hey, new member. Hey, thank you so much. All right, the Quacks. It's a nice name, nice icon. All right, thank you so much for becoming a member. It's nice, thank you. Okay, so let me think. So basically, I'm going to need the... Okay, let me think. Actually, on the docs, they had how to... On the UGC docs, they had it to convert into a sprite. Yeah, so I'm pretty much going to use this function. Okay, so let me, all right, focus. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted trying to do a billion things at once. So let me try to dynamically load a sprite instead of doing it like this. So let me grab it from a file. So from a file, do I do file.open? Because I'm trying to think of how would the mods be stored. They would be as an array of bytes. But I guess, you know, what's the difference between open and open read? I assume those are the same. Actually, so let me just... So pick up the gamepad, okay. This gives me a thumbnail stream. Can I just read? It's always confusing how to read. Do I read them as bytes or not? That's a good question. Yeah, I did have the things. So read it onto the byte array. So byte array, I read it, and I'm going to read this one onto the byte array, and I'm going to, yep. Okay, so that reads it, but then for the code, this one takes, the load image. I don't remember what is this one like? The texture 2D. This one dot load image. Does this one take? It takes an array of bytes. All right. Huh. So will it actually work like this? That's a good question. So maybe this will indeed work. Where was I? Right here. So pretty much just need to create a sprite. Animation don't change from script in my clone enemies. What? Sorry, I don't understand. Okay, so creating a sprite. The down texture width and height. Yeah, I think like this. Okay, so let's see if this is loading that gamepad sprite dynamically. Because technically if it does, then actually this is going to be perhaps easier than I thought. Right, I just forgot how do I... Okay, so let me grab something. Now let me go into the player, and the player is holding something. The player is holding this. Hey, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Thank you. So he's holding something which has a kitchen object SO, which in turn has a sprite. And if there you go, there's a sprite. Okay, so that seemed like it worked. All right. Different courses while doing a full-time job. The answer is learn a tiny bit every single day. That's pretty much it. rather than doing sprints where you learn nonstop for 12 hours a day. No, instead just focus on doing 30 minutes in the night every single day, whenever you have time. That's pretty much how we do it. All right, okay. All right, so this actually worked. I actually loaded a thumbnail, I loaded a bunch of bytes, and that did work, and I did get that. So technically with this, I could download the bytes from Unity's UGC and everything would work, so that would be nice. Then the tricky part is actually the mesh. So that is actually going to be the super tricky one. And for the mesh, from what I see, it's actually quite tricky to Unity dynamically load a .fbx. From what I see, this is actually quite tricky. Yeah, this is what I saw, that apparently OBJ is easier. Yeah, does FBX belong to 3ds Max or Autodesk? That's a question. I don't know if FBX is... But yeah, basically, yeah, I remember researching this a while ago, and basically loading FBX in runtime, it's really difficult. Basically need to use asset bundles and things. So maybe I could create... Yeah, FBX is used everywhere, but apparently it seems to be some kind of closed format, so that is why it becomes a bit trickier. And I think I saw that download instead of an FBX a .obj, and I think that one should be easier. UGC allows code behavior to be loaded via mods too. I remember that I saw a question. They asked the question on the GDC panel, and the answer was that it depends on the platform. Basically, there are some platforms where you can indeed dynamically load code. So I believe on Windows you can do it, but for example on consoles I don't think you can do it, and on iOS I don't think you can do it. So that depends on the platforms. But that really just refers to compound code, things like C#. That is why, for the most part, mods use something like Lua, so some kind of scripting language. So if you're going to go into mods, yeah, using Lua seems like it would be the better approach as opposed to actually using, what am I saying? C#, yeah. Okay. So I think OBJ would be better. What is this OBJ importer? Oh, great. Unity wiki is down. Oh no. Port OBJ at runtime in Unity. The question is, does Unity have a built-in importer or not? That's the thing. I wanted to use something that was built in. Runtime OBJ, is this a asset sort tool? Yeah. Oh, it appears to be free. But yeah, I wanted to yeah, that's what's going to be. Okay, anyways, but yeah, I do think that OBJ does work. So the first thing is actually convert. Or maybe just, Yeah, the OBJ important, yeah, because, but I think this is the, but the other one did have, so Unity, the OBJ important. Is this a thing? No, that one is just the asset sort. Ah, crap. The asset sort tool. Something on GitHub. There's a model importer. Model import settings from editor scripts. No, I don't want editor scripts. I want it in runtime. I mean, I guess technically I could import the mesh. No, that would be annoying. I mean, technically it would work, but yeah. Yeah, pretty much everyone is pointing to that tool. I mean, I guess if need be, maybe I won't use that tool since it appears to be free. So yeah. Hey, look at that, nice car. That's fun. What do you want, OBJ? I'm trying to do modding, and I want the players to be able to mod also the visual for the recipe. And yeah, that would be the tricky thing, because apparently OBJ in runtime, apparently in Unity, yeah, dynamic mesh loader. Yeah, dynamic loading all the mesh data, that would work. maybe I might look into that one. Anyways, okay, so I think I'll check that out later, and for now, try to get this one. Why OBJ over FBX? Because apparently FBX is proprietary and it's really difficult to import in runtime. That's pretty much the only reason, because from what I saw, that one is really tricky, and OBJ seems to be easier at runtime. So for making mods, that one appears to be better. Okay. All right, okay, so I guess for now, let me worry about that in a little bit, and for now, maybe let's try working with the actual UGC thing in order to try to upload and download the mods. But for that, okay, let me think, because UGC does have a slight limitation, which is that it only supports one file, so basically I need to append everything onto just one file. So I need to go into the kitchen game UGC, and I need to make some kind of file format. You have an OBJ important. It does, but apparently it's only on the editor, so that's the issue. It works in the editor, but not in runtime. So yeah, that is going to be a little bit tricky. Okay, so for static data, I'm going to have something like the object name. Okay, let me start writing and think at the same time. Yeah, actually, let me put margin. Crap, my brain isn't working. Alright, so I want a file, and basically on a file I want a public, a byte array for the icon byte array. Then I'm eventually going to have also for the other one, and for the object name, so this is also going to be a byte array for the what do I call it? JSON data, maybe something like this. Because do I call it name? Nah. Because, but yeah, it just has a name. So name byte array. Then I need a public. Okay, I'm trying to think. Is learning optimization important as a beginner? I mean, it depends. For the most part, if your game runs, then that's great. Then afterwards, focus on optimization. So I wouldn't worry about it from the very beginning. But yeah. Steam doesn't have an API or something to handle mods. Yep, Steam does have Steam Workshop, so Unity is trying to sort of compete with that with this new tool, with the user-generated content tool, so it should be interesting. It does have a bunch of pros, so a bunch of things, since Steam hasn't really had much improvement since Steam Workshop was announced, which was like 10 years ago, so yeah, they're trying to push it forward. So if you just joined recently, this is what I'm talking about, their latest tool on user-generated content. Can load animation. Oh really? I didn't know that, but yeah, right now animation is not something that I'm thinking about for this type of modding, but yeah, it's good to know that limitation. Okay. Sprite chat remind me that I wasn't subscribed. All right, thank you. Okay, so let me think. All right, so I need the icon byte array. Okay, so I need that. I need the name. But then I need the offset, right? Trying to think, how did I handle this? Oh crap, I don't. Let me go back and rewatch one of my videos, because I don't remember. How did I implement it? My brain is drawing a blank right now. Yeah, right. So I've got a JSON, convert into that. No, where's the header? Because I was seeing the header. Where did I put the header? Right, so for the header, I just put the JSON byte size, and then on the JSON byte size, over there, I hold the rest. Yeah, of course, I look at my own videos to remember how I did things. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so essentially I need the header. I need the header to contain the byte size. And then, yeah, I had just the header bytes as just a U short, right? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then I have, actually I'm trying to think, the reason is working with bytes is always so tricky. But yeah, I have some kind of header class, and on the header, I've got a public, yeah, for the JSON byte size. That's really all I need, JSON byte size. So public class for the found data. And then on the found data, I'm going to have a public int for the icon byte array, and another one for the name byte array size. So this is size for both of these. Just trying to think, how do I convert this into a file and without it? So, okay, let me do a public void, and I'm going to call some save. And over here, let me receive a, do I take a, yeah, so a string for the, what do you call it? For the icon path. Then I'm going to have a string for the name, or the object name, something like that. Okay, so for the icon path, can you do a prefab? Well, basically I'm doing research in order to be able to do the user-generated content, but actually right now in this live stream I've already managed to get quite a bit working, so the thing that I got right now is already working quite well. So I've got the game, and I dynamically generated a kitchen object so here are the regular kitchen objects, so some tomato, I can slice it and so on. And then over here I've got a kitchen object, which is just a basic cube. So this was generated in runtime rather than being built into the game itself. So this would be the example of a mod. I can add it onto a plate, and there you go, it has a nice icon. And then I can deliver it, my recipe, and there you go, success. So yeah. Have you experienced a crash? Sometimes. Not much, but yeah, sometimes. My super chat just did not show up. Super chat? I didn't see anything. That's odd. Okay, so I got the icon path, and I need to basically load it into bytes. Go into the icon path. So I load it into the byte array, so that is going to be the icon byte array. And then the bytes read, so let me go found data equals a new found data. Then on the found data dot icon byte array size, it's going to be this guy, okay. It's your favorite asset. I mean, that is really difficult because there are so many assets that do so many things, so it really depends on the context. If you want to talk about visuals, I love Cinti Studios. Talking about tools, I love things like Rayfire or something. Actually, Unity has a spring sale starting later today, so stay tuned for my video doing an overview of my favorite assets on the sale. But yeah, there are so many awesome tools that can really help speed up the process, so yeah. Of course, learning how to make an FPS game. I've got my visual scripting course, does have an FPS game. But yeah, in terms of regular code, no, I haven't done one of those, so that would be interesting. Okay. Why does Unreal struggle with mobile ports, but they can run millions on PC? Because those are completely different architectures. So rendering a game on a PC isn't really the same as rendering it on a mobile chip. Those are completely different things, and for them, they spend most of their engineering resources on targeting high-end machines, so that's pretty much it. Best Unity YouTuber, thank you. That's nice. Okay, so let me think. Okay, so I'm basically setting the icon byte array, the name, and I've got that one. Okay, great. So then eventually I'm going to need to convert the found data. I'm going to convert JSON utility to JSON. Convert this found data into JSON. So the string, so file data JSON. Oh, found data read all bytes. Yeah, good question. Yeah, good point. Because I was using it like this just because this is what the documentation for UGC was using. Just using file.open because the where it is over here. Yeah, because then for uploading content, they require a file stream, so that is why I'm using this method. But yeah, over here for my own method, when all I want is just some byte array, then yeah, file.readOnBytes would indeed be quite a bit easier. Okay, so file data.json, then a header equals a new header, and on the header I need to put the JSON byte size. All right, now I don't remember. How do I convert this into? Yeah, I really should probably, yeah, the encoding dot. I never know. Should I use Unicode or should I use UTF-8? I never know which one is supposedly the best, but get bytes. Isn't it get bytes? Yeah, it is get bytes. Based in the file data JSON. So that returns the byte array for the file data bytes byte array. Okay, so this is actually something that I need to store as well. Okay. How can Unity perform both? Because they spend tons of their engineering effort on supporting all of the platforms. That's really it. There's no magic within the engine itself. It just depends on what your focus is. That's the same reason why Unreal usually has better visuals than Unity, because that is their main focus. So yeah, Learn after finishing the multiplayer course as a beginner. Maybe look into my turn-based strategy course, which I'm also working on a free expansion for that one. So if you want to learn about good clean code, then yeah, that course would be very nice. If you go to that one, if you value good clean code, then that course will really help you. All right. Okay, so for the JSON byte size, it's going to be this one .length. So then I need the int for the header size, except it's not an int, it's a uShort. So I didn't see the expansion. Yeah, it's going surprisingly well. I thought it was going to be really tricky to handle multiple levels, but it was actually surprisingly easy. So that was good. Yeah, for the header size, I just take the length, convert it into that one. Oh yeah, so that's what I was doing. So I convert the header size at a uShort. So wait, do I need the oh, I converted a header into JSON as well. Right, yeah, makes sense. So JSON utility.toJSON for the header. So that's the string for the header JSON. So that is this one. Then on this one, I convert it into a byte array. So the same thing, encoding.unicode.getBytes. Get bytes for the header JSON. This returns a byte array for the header byte array. And then for the header size, this one .length, and just need to convert it into a uShort. So basically the header size needs to be of a certain thing. And then I've got the byte array for the header size byte array, which is going to be the header size as a byte array. How do I do it? Currently I use bit converter in order to get the bytes. Get the bytes of this header size. Okay. Right, so basically with that, I've got... Okay. Hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the videos. I hope the videos have been helpful for your learning journey. That's pretty much what I do, and thank you all for being here watching on this random unplanned live stream. Yeah. Okay, so crap, I should probably just open up that file. That would probably be easier. Looks easy just watching you on stream. Does it? Because on stream I'm definitely struggling quite a bit more than on a final polished video, because that's just how game development works. What you see on the final video is really the final polished video, so that doesn't include all the time that I spent just trial and error, just trying to figure out how do I do all of this, how do I store all the bytes in a single file. That is always super difficult, so it's interesting. All right, so write all bytes, and this one takes a path and then just a byte array. So list of bytes, so the complete byte list. I think there's value in seeing this wrong. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it can definitely give a misleading picture if all you watch is just fine unpolished videos. It seems that everything is way too easy, but yeah, if you look behind it, for every single tutorial that you watch, there's tons and tons of work that goes behind the actual polished video. So yeah. How do I know when the live streams are happening? I mean, I don't really have a fixed schedule. I just do them when I have some kind of work to do that also fits well on a live stream. So yeah, the way is just use the bell icon on YouTube or maybe on the website, sign up to receive emails, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I usually send an email and set it live about 10 minutes before I go live. So yeah, I wish there was, maybe one day I will have a fixed schedule where at a certain time per week I will always be, but yeah, for the most part, the live streams are very much improvised. So yeah, it's kind of hard to say ahead of time. Okay, so this one is to array, and let me put this on application dot data path plus byte save dot bytes, something like this. Okay, so for the complete byte list, I'm going to add, actually it's add range, not add. So add range. I first add the header byte size. Okay, so that tells me the size of the header, which in turn is going to tell me, right? Yeah, I think that's, I'm trying to remember how I did this, but yeah, pretty much it. Response to one of your last videos, you are 100% not perfect. Just awesome. That's nice. Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely not perfect. I try my best to do things, but yep. Just because I do something, that does not mean it's the only way. There are only so many ways to solve every problem. So yeah. Okay, so I add the header size. All right. With that, I can then read the header bytes. By reading the header bytes, I can then read the header byte array. Does include that, right? I'm trying to think. Actually, let me do a quick test, just to make sure that all of this is indeed working. So a fully void load. Actually, why am I putting these inside the... Yeah, there's no need to put this inside, so I have no idea why I'm putting them inside this file. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'll clean it up after a little bit. Okay, so for the load file.read, yeah, over here, let me use the read all bytes. Let me use the exact same path. Just read that. So this is the byte array for the complete byte array. And yeah, so let me do a debug.log. This one .length. So bytes. Let's do this. And over here, before I save it, let's go to this one. .count. Let's do this. Okay, so let me just do a quick test because I haven't tested anything in ages. So let's just make sure this is working. So let me just create this object, and then on this guy let me call save, and this guy let me call load. Except for save, I need to pass in something, even though I'm not really using this right now. But okay, let's just do it like this, and the object name, my object, doesn't really matter. All right, so let's test and see if this does work. Okay. Someone can add their own recipe to the game. Yep, that's the goal. That's what I'm trying to do. Trying to make it so that you can mod new recipes, new objects, new things. So let's run it and see if there's any error. And after a while, and nope, it did work. All right, so it saved 40 bytes and it loaded 40 bytes. Okay, so that's good. So now these 40 bytes, I want to get them back. So how do I get the array? Can I slice an array? I don't think I can. No. So let me make a list of byte. List of byte. Complete byte list equals a new list of byte. Let me convert the array onto a list. And then onto this list, I can call. Can't I slice? Okay, now I'm confused. Doesn't the list have a slice function? Pretty sure. Oh no, it's copy to. Yeah, that's exactly it. Actually, does the byte array also have a copy to? Yeah, it also does. Copy to an array with an index. But wasn't there a way to grab something? That's actually interesting. I thought it did. But it's an extension. Oh, that's interesting. And on the list, yeah, you got add range. Would be nice to have a slice. I thought it had, but apparently not. Oh, get range. Okay, so maybe this is what I want. Okay, so this is what I want. All right. I knew there was something. All right, so get range, so on 0. And now I need to remember how big is a U short. I think it's 2 bytes, right? Yeah, I think it's 2 bytes. Yeah, I think so. So this is going to be a list of byte. So the header byte list is going to be this. And then slice in UC# versions. Oh, really? They're improving list. That's fun. Okay, so yeah, I think it's on the bit convert. I should really just go and grab that one. So U short. Is a U short a int 16? Good question. Is it? Oh yeah, it is. It returns a U short. It's always confusing how there are so many names, but yeah. So this one into a byte list does not work. Do you not work with a list? It takes a span or a byte value, so to array, and then the start index is on 0, so this is going to return a U short for the header. But I call it header size. Get your animations and sound effects. I mean, mostly from the Assessor. The Assessor or Humble Bundles or any kind of sales, that's pretty much it. I mean, the Assessor has tons and tons of stuff. And if you want to find them for free, there was a good sound. What was it? Free Sound? Is that the name? Yeah, that's the one. So if you want sound effects, and this one has a bunch of free ones, which are fun, definitely take a look at the licenses. But yeah, if you're looking for free sounds, that is a good one. In the UI section, where the first icon recipe is showing when the second one is added. Sounds like you probably forgot to answer you forgot to disable the template. That is usually the issue. It is basically showing the template and then whatever is on there. Why don't you use the var keyword? Personally, I don't like it. I find that it makes the code hard to read. I want to be very explicit about what type I'm working with. So personally, I do not like var, but if you do, then definitely use it. For example, over here on the docs, Unity themselves like to use var. Personally, I don't like it, but yeah, if you don't like it, then definitely look into it. Same it, but seems the same problem. Well, you can download the project files for that lecture and compare with your own. So maybe you set up something different in the prefab, something like that. So Unity Asset Spring Sale starting exactly. It's starting today in about, I think it's at 4 p.m. So that would be in about 4 or 5 hours. So yeah. All right, let me just debug.log, the header size, Let me just see if this one, yeah. So just up here, let me just see what debug.log, saving, and then down here, debug.log, just saying loading. All right. Okay, so let's see if this is working so far. Text Mesh Pro, specifically with the countdown. I don't know what specific issue you have with the countdown, but I do have a countdown on the Kitchen Chaos game, so you can definitely look into how I did that one. So that is, I was on the, you can watch the course, it's on the polish stage. Over here I added the countdown, so if you go and watch the polish stage lecture, you should be able to see how I implemented the countdown. Code this light screen, my eyes are burning already. Well, that's what happens to me on the opposite, which is on the on dark mode. Yeah, my eyes burn. Header size 38. Oh, right, it's not. Yeah, it's not using 38 bytes. It just exactly the header size itself is 38. Okay, so that did work. Okay, great. Right? Yes. Okay. So int byte offset equals 2, starting on that one. Or let's go int byte offset equals 0, then byte offset plus equals 2. Then on the complete byte list, once again, let me call get range, and I'm going to get range on the byte offset. And for the count, so what is the one that I want? So basically, I've got the, exactly, using the header size, I want to get that range, and that is going to give me the header size byte array, or actually header size byte list equals that one, so list of byte. Yeah. Do you have to go to the bathroom during the live stream? No, I never do live streams that are that long, so yeah, so far that has not been an issue. But yeah, header size, okay. So this is the header size byte list. That gets me that, so now I just need to reverse this one. At least I think that I'm doing this right, so get string. And now take the byte list. Can you take a byte list? Nope. All of these only work with arrays. That's a bit annoying, but okay. So for the header JSON, then header equals JSON utility dot from JSON of type header. For the header JSON, yep. So the header size, that one did work, and debug.log, go into the header, and let me grab the JSON byte size. Yeah, exactly. Then on the header, I hold the JSON byte size, and then also the image byte size. Then I put both of them. Okay. Serialization for save and load. Yeah, but over here I'm not working just with serializable types. That is why I need to work with byte arrays. Okay. Because on the file I'm going to need to store the image icon, so that is why I need to work with bytes instead of doing basic serialization. Okay, so the other JSON byte size. Is it an inspiration? Ah, that's awesome. I'm glad the videos have helped you on your learning journey. That's a goal with them, so thank you. Okay. So let's see if this one is loading the JSON byte size. Well, let's print the exact same thing up here. Okay, let's see if that one is working. What time is it? Midday 40. Yeah, my voice already quite a bit messed up. I think Newton's soft JSON is more powerful. It kind of is, but it also has issues. Like that one has a very, very annoying bug, which is regarding the how it has issues with serializing vector. Is it vector 3? Yeah, it's vector 3s. Because a vector 3 has a forward, which in turn is a vector 3. So it causes a loop cycle thing. So yeah, every time that I've used it, it is always super tricky. So that is why for the most part when working with Unity, I tend to use JSON utility. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, so with this, I've got the header. So then I just need my file data. So this is the one that I converted into JSON, right? Yeah, actually I could put it all on the header. Anyways, right now I just want to make sure that I get it working. So that one, the header has the JSON byte size, which is going to be the file data array. Okay, so let me continue doing pretty much the exact same thing. So instead of the header, what did I call it? Because I called it, yeah, file data byte list. Starting off on that one, going until this byte size, and then for the byte offset was equals by this one. Recommend videos before starting a big project in terms of must and mustn'ts. I don't know what tips is. Take good control of how you write your... Hey, Jason, sorry. Hey, nice. Thanks for being here. Right, custom converter that replaces the converting process and only serializes the properties. Yeah, if you have questions about serialization, then JSON is definitely the person you should listen to. Yeah. Fine, serialize turning through property into an array of 3 values. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, working with compression. That is definitely an interesting thing. I remember that I used some kind of compression library. I don't remember the name, but I remember that for my first Steam game, I did have that issue where my save files were super huge. They were like megabytes long because I was just serializing tons and tons of data. And I remember that I used some compression and converted into like 50 kilobytes. So that was fun. That was interesting. I didn't do it myself. I just used some kind of library. But yeah, that was interesting. Right. So let me just now I got that one. So let's go into Unicode, get string, and let me grab the file data. So this is going to be a string for the file data JSON, and then file data equals JSON utility from JSON of type file data, and let me pick up the file data JSON. And of course, this doesn't work with lists, so need to do it with arrays. So that grabs me the file data, and now with this one, I finally have those two. Okay, so almost getting there. This definitely, yeah, if you're watching, this might seem way too convoluted, but hopefully it will all make sense in the final tutorial video. Okay, so the icon byte array size, yeah. For strategy game can decide to save the map. Oh, nice. To a bit shifted compressed texture. Oh, wow. Wow, 5 megabytes into 50 kilobytes. That's awesome. Wow, that's insane. That sounds really cool. Yeah. Bit shifted into a compressed texture. Wow, that sounds really hardcore. Right, yeah, nice. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the course. It's awesome. Okay. So all right, so yeah, let me just up here, let me put a log on that one. See if that one is working, and let's see if that one is loading the same bytes. Oh yeah, and I didn't even notice that I'm spinning. Pen spinning, yeah, it's a fun thing when you're busy. Oh boy, look at that. I think Unity, wow, look at that, it happened. Unity randomly crashes on me, and now apparently dead. Okay, so did I mess up something working with bytes? I don't know, but yeah, that was unexpected. This one, yeah. All right, so there you go, classic. Yeah, because this was, I don't know, did I, yeah, I don't think I did, yeah, just working with bytes, but apparently something went wrong. It's gonna crash again. Didn't crash now, but offset and linked were bounds. Okay, so apparently I'm the offset and bounds were where are they? Because so far it was byte offset increased by the header size. Let me see the yeah, because I didn't actually see, yeah, the byte save is over here. Yeah, 40 kilobytes, so got all the bytes there. Okay. Yeah, because the header size was correct, wasn't it? So why is this one? This is kind of the issue when working with bytes, that when things go wrong, they go really wrong. A tutorial about optimization on mobile. That is a very broad topic, so that is the best thing when it comes to optimization is really just learn how to use the profiler. So window analysis profiler. So learn how to use this in order to figure out what exactly is taking time, because optimization is a giant topic with so many possible examples, reasons. So yeah, it's one of those topics that is really impossible to make a general tutorial because every game is going to be different. So yeah, just focus on reducing draw calls, reduce how often you run code, all kinds of things. So yeah, basically learning how to use the profiler is the best thing you can do. Okay, so this one was actually, All right. Oh, never mind, because I didn't add it. Yeah, I'm not very smart. No, I'm not. Right, so the file data byte array, yeah, I kind of need to add it. If I don't add it, then obviously it's actually not going to read it. That's kind of obvious. Step 3, UI draw calls. Yeah, UI can definitely be a big performance killer, yeah. Especially for me. I mean, usually I make games on PC, so I don't have to worry about it too much, but I really enjoy using world space canvases, and yeah, those generate tons of draw calls, so yeah. And atlases, yeah, I remember that I was, one of my Steam games, yeah, I was, before adding generating the sprite atlas, and afterwards the difference was really massive, so yeah, definitely look into those. Those are great tips. All right, and now it worked. No error. Okay, awesome. All right. So the file. Yeah, because that's really all that I need. Then I add the icon and the name. Yeah, right now I don't even care about the name. So let me just add the icon byte array. And then finally, over here, I've got that one. Okay. So then I can go into my complete byte list in order to get the range. And let me get the range on this byte offset. And then for the size, that is going to be the file data dot the icon byte array size. So that is going to be a list of bytes. And that is going to be the icon byte list. And with that one, I'm going to have a byte list. And then I can finally do exactly this. I basically read the bytes and I'll load them into the texture. Yeah, the byte array. Okay, so yeah, so I don't think I can actually test this out. Ah, crap. To array. Raycastable helps performance too. Oh, does it? Oh, that's something that I never tried out. Hey, Bargy. Hey, Jack, you're here. Hey, nice. How's it going? All right, I hope it was productive. I hope you had fun back in Australia. I hope you weren't attacked by any giant spiders. Boy, Australia is an interesting country, but the existence of giant man-eating spiders, that really puts me off. So, yeah. Are you Portuguese? Yep, I am. Yeah. Right. So, I can do a debug.log on the sprite just to see if it does work. Let's see if it does work. Not only that, the file is 136 bytes. Is that it? That doesn't seem right. It says 136 bytes, but oh, because I didn't add it right. Yeah, that was before I added the thing. So yeah, spiders are not that bad, really. Because I've seen some pictures and they seem pretty bad. Right. And yeah, look at that, the sprite. All right, so technically this did work. So let me do a load. Out sprite, and onto this sprite, let me output this sprite. Use the black Unity editor because I like the light theme. Basically, dark mode burns my eyes, so light theme, that's the thing for me. And okay, so on the load, let me do out sprite. So let me just do this right on the start. And now instead of doing all this, now I just go straight into that file. And let me actually just load and not save. Okay. So with this, he should be able to get the sprite. And the sprite should be added onto that one. Even though right now, technically, it's not going... It's all based on that one file, which is... How big is it now? Yeah, now it's 3 kilobytes. All right, so this is the entire mod file, just has exactly that. Okay. Isn't there a built-in method to load sprites? Yeah, this is the only built-in method. It's basically that one. You have to create a new texture 2D, then you call load image in order to load bytes onto that texture 2D. So that loads the image, and then you create the sprite. That's pretty much the only thing. Okay, so anyway, so like this. Basically, this is going to be loading this mod with that icon. And let's see if it does work. Okay. And now, okay, so far so good. No errors, all right. Got the bytes, okay, that's all good. And I go, and there you go. And let's see if the icon didn't load. If I pick it up, and there you go, got my icon. All right, awesome. Okay, that worked, that was cool. I'm sure it was a bit anticlimactic for those of you who just joined and aren't exactly sure what happened, but let me tell you, that was cool. This is going to be a tutorial series or next game. This is going to be a tutorial on how to use Unity's UGC, which is their user-generated content tool, which is currently on open beta. Basically researching this. How is indiedev going? It's going well. I was doing some refactoring last week, and now this week I'm focusing on making regular videos, and then next week I'll be back to development on that and hopefully making a nice devlog, something like that, so it should be fun. Alright, so basically with this, I can use the save in order to save a thing. Okay, let me just load the name as well, even though the name doesn't actually show up anywhere, but anyways. So that's the name byte array. I just really need to make this one, which is actually super simple. So how do we do it? Encoding.unicode.getBytes, get bytes of the object name. That is the name byte array. And then down here, just need to add this one onto that one. And finally down here, so the icon byte list. Let me just increase the offset by this one. The file data, not the header. Okay, so that gets the sprites, and then finally for the object name byte list, get range by offset for the object, what did I call it? Name byte array size. That one gives me that one, offset it by that one, and then on this one I go into encoding.unicode, get a string from this one to array. So this returns a string, or let's just say object name. And over here on the load, let me do an out string object name like this. Okay, so now on this one, a string, not string out string object name. So then when I create this one, I give it this name. Okay, now obviously I need to save it again. Let's call it my object, pass in gamepad, and so on. Okay, let's see. Is the wishlist getting where you are wanting? I'll have the same challenge in my game soon. So far I think it has about 1,000 wishlists, which is a good enough start. So as I do more and more devlogs, I hope that one to be increasing by quite a bit. So the goal is to hit about 5,000 by the launch date, which should be at the end of July. So essentially got 2.5 months to get 4,000 wishlists, which should hopefully be useful. For my custom avatar. All right. Okay, let me just try it out. Okay. Okay, so what am I doing? It's over here. If I pick it up, okay, so let me exit. Okay, so this one is saving and loading. Now let's just load. So just loading that one file. And okay, it's almost 1 p.m. so almost time for me to go, but I really want to finish this part, get this working. Okay, so pick it up, let me go into the player, and inside the player is holding a kitchen object. Here it is, the dynamically loaded kitchen object, which has no name. Okay, that's a bit annoying. That's a bit annoying. Did I not pass in the... I did pass in the name. So why did it not... Okay. Did this load or not? That's a question. So object name. Let me see this one. Right, so there are, oh wow, there are a bunch of custom textures as well. Because these are manual, so if you upload them, you have to tell me. But yeah, I've validated them. Now let me just tell my tool to do it. Okay, so it should now be updating. Oh, there you go, custom texture. Hey, that looks nice. That's a very nice suit. All right, nice. Thank you for drawing your own. It's always fun when people do that and get custom textures, custom characters. It's always fun, so that's nice. All right. It's only 8 a.m. Is it? So where are you living? If it's 8 a.m. over there, I'm guessing you're on the east coast of the US, I assume. So over here it's 1 p.m. So yeah. Right, so let me see if the object name is being loaded or not. Not entirely sure. Custom avatar is fun, yeah. Yeah, it's awesome when people use that feature. It's a really nice tool. I really enjoyed making it. Alright, so pick it up that one, go into that one, go into that one. That one has no name. That one also has no name. Okay, so why don't you have a name? That's my question. Yeah, because that one did... Oh, never mind. Well, I mean, obviously, if I don't add it, then it's kind of important. So, yeah, sometimes I'm really a big idiot, I guess. Yeah, so anyways, like this, the name byte array.length. So I have to put it, otherwise, obviously, it won't actually save. So let me go up here, and now it should actually be saving the custom one. All right. Hey, another custom avatar. Hey, that's nice. Did you draw your own logo? Because that looks really cool. Nice gear icon with the angle brackets. That is fun. Right, so there you go. My object. And now if I look in the player and I inspect the kitchen object, and yep, there you go, my object. All right, awesome. Okay, so that's cool. All right. He's in Portugal to put a game out there, create the company, talk to a lawyer. I mean, it's always good to talk to an accountant to see how you do it, but you can, for me, my Steam games, I started off by doing a empresário em nome individual. So that was the legal thing. So you can abrir uma atividade com essa coisa e com isso eles vão dar para passar, já não lembro se é faturas ou se é recibos verdes. Por isso, passar isso à Steam, sempre mandam coisa, é basicamente isso. So yeah, basically you can... yeah, you can basically start the business in your own name or maybe make a company. Both options are valid, but yeah, pretty much selling to an accountant always helps. And there you go, another custom character. Hey, that's nice. Is that supposed to be the... I always confuse them. Is it only alien or predator? No, that's predator. Okay. A pixel art predator. That's fun. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, so all these logs, I don't really need them. All of this is now working, so that's awesome. Got all the bytes, the header size, all the things. Okay, so with this, basically over here, I am converting I'm creating just one file, which is very important, which has an entire icon and all of the object data. So that's good. So, okay, let me think. Yeah, I guess I could. All right. Okay. So that's good. So now I would like to work with the actual UGC thing. Okay, so let me basically use that one in order to create the mod, then go into this one in order to actually load it, right? Right, so let me try it out like that. So over here, let me go test create content kitchen object SO. So let me go into the test create content, and over here let me try creating another one. So okay. All right, so basically I'm going to open, and for the content live stream, not live stream, my brain isn't working too well, the byte save. Okay, so this is my mod file. So that is where I'm going to want to upload it. Warning that appears on start host. After updating, it doesn't stop the game. What is the warning? Prefabs was not empty at initialization time. Made before initialization will be replaced. I've never seen that warning. Does the game run? Are you seeing that on the end of the course? That's a bit of a strange one. It seems like the network prefab list is not being, I don't know, set correctly, or it's being modified. That's odd, but nope, I've never seen that error, so that is strange. I mean, it's a warning, so maybe it's just something with how the backend works. I don't know. So basically, if you don't see any issues, then I would say just ignore it. But yeah, just make sure you are not modifying the network prefab list at runtime, because that would be the tricky thing. Someone else, can you do a video on the live chat? I've made several tutorials, so you can go onto this page, and over here at the bottom I've got all kinds of links. So if you want to know how this works, basically this is a Unity window, so that's a transparent Unity window. Then the characters, these are all mesh based, so these are mesh based animations. Then for interacting with the YouTube API, that's just an HTTP request. And the characters, how I made them, these are the same characters that I used in my game Battleground Tycoon, so you can watch all of these links in order to see how I built all of this. Okay, so let me I just want to get this working, and then then I guess that'll be it, because my voice is already messed up. Okay, so I go into that one, and I'm going to upload it with whatever tags, something. So actually, just like this, it should be uploading. So let me just go into my testing scene. Actually, let me just save it just one last time, because I'm not sure that I saved it, so let's just run this just in order to save the file. Okay, it did, and the file is over here. There you go, 3.2 kilobytes. Okay, so that's good. So let me go into, ah crap, I can't see the test scene. All right, let me just go into this one. And now here, and there you go, create content. Okay, so that's good. And now, link for a course, midway through. That's nice. All right. Advice in improving effectiveness in self-taught programming. The best advice is really just consistency. So just focus on doing it, even if it's just a tiny bit, just do a tiny bit every single day. That's really how you learn. So that is much more important than trying to do some giant sprints. So yeah, just focus on doing a tiny bit every single day, and over time that will really add up. So as a self-taught programmer, it can be kind of hard to decide how you're going to learn. But if you're going through the course, and that's awesome, definitely just make sure you're actually learning, and then keep at it. If you get to the end and you understand everything, then you will have made a huge jump in your own skill set. So definitely stick with it. And hey, Tembo, another custom character. Hey, thanks for being here. Nice. Yeah, this was a bit of a random live stream on a random time. So yeah, a bit strange. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, so I created this one. Now if I go into my dashboard and I go into content, and if there you go, I do see my own. Okay, so that one is public. So that is fun. All right. Oh, I used this one. Okay, I should have used the other one, but okay, that works. Anyways, see you next time. All right, thank you for being here. See you next time. And if I actually download it, and if I open it, which is a bit odd, but yep, I can indeed see the file. So it does have 3 kilobytes. All right, so that's good. So basically this one created it. So let me just store the thing. So a private string for the what do I call it, test kitchen chaos mod content ID. Let me just save this before I lose this. Okay, so I got this one, and now the test download the subscribed content. Actually, I don't really care about the subscribed content, do I? No, I just, since I've got the content ID, yeah, I just need this one, the download content data async. So let me actually go on this one, and instead of loading from a local file, let us not do this, which is obviously going to lead to all kinds of errors, so that's fine. So I'm going to go into UGC service. Let's mark this one as async. I'm going to download the, oh, I need the content, so that is, oh, I guess not. I guess I just need this. So I just need the content ID. So let me actually pick this one up. So, by the way, if you're used to watching my regular videos and now you're watching this live stream, then this code might seem quite dirty. All of these comments, all these things, and yeah, that's the perfectly normal part of the research process. Just writing things, trying to get it working, and then I focus on making it pretty. That's pretty much it. Okay, so this is going to download just the content, and I don't need the thumbnail. Okay, so that's good. And for downloading, I think that's really the only thing. Yeah. Then I've got the downloaded content, which does have a byte array. Okay, so that's cool. So wait, that's on where? That's the content dot downloaded content. So that is a byte array. So I just need to modify this guy, which for some reason I need to create a class, but that's okay. So this one on loading, instead of read all bytes, let me receive a byte array. So byte array, and you're going to load that from that one instead of on that one. So let me just do byte array equals byte array. Instead of reading it, you get it from that one. Okay, so this should be working. Let me just put the content.downloaded content like this. All right, no errors. So let's see if this works. That should be fun. All right. We wrote perfect. So you usually try lots of things until something clicks. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing here. I mean, if you rewatch this live stream, which I've been for almost 2 hours, yeah, it took quite some time to figure out how to do all of this, saving all of the data that I need and reloading it, and then how to dynamically create a scriptable object. So yeah, this is pretty much how I research things. I try doing something little by little, then I clean it up, and then I work on writing the final polished video. So that's pretty much my process. Okay, so with that one, I did upload it onto there. So now if I go, where's my scenes? Scenes. If I go into the game scene, and now it should actually have that one, except it doesn't. Oh, right, I forgot to initialize the Unity server, so that would be tricky. Recommendations to make the game look pretty. Use good assets, and definitely make sure you add some post-processing. Post-processing can really make a huge difference between making your game look a bit middling to looking really awesome. So yeah, definitely good assets plus post-processing, that will really take your game visuals to the next level. Okay, so I just need to Unity auth anon. Let me just do this. Yeah, my test user, yeah, that works fine. Login async, that should be fun. Okay, so you start to learn Unity, that's nice. How to do things the right way. I would say don't focus on perfection, just focus on getting things working. Learning the right way, that comes over time. So as long as it works right now, that's good. And oh, that's loading. But yeah, for now, focus on learning to the point where it actually works. And then over time, you will be able to figure out what exactly is the right way. And look at that, it does work. So basically the thing over there, and I can pick it up. And there you go, it does have the icon. So this cube right here, this is actually a custom modded kitchen object that is actually being downloaded from the internet as opposed to being over here. I mean, I've got all the assets over here, but this one is actually, it is going over here to the internet, into the user-generated content. And on the overview, yep, I can see that I've got a download. So on the content, yep, this guy right here, this one has been done. All right. All right, awesome. So that actually worked quite well. If I inspect that one, if I inspect the player isn't holding it. Let me pick it up. Where's the player? The hold point is holding a cube, which is holding a kitchen object, which is downloading the sprite from the internet and the my object name. All right, why not use addressables? Because for this I want player modding, not just developer-made modding. So that's the big difference between addressables and the Unity user-generated content, which is a really interesting tool. All right, okay, so basically I wanted to get this working, and most of it is working. I just need to still work on the how do I actually synchronize the FBX file or the OBJ, the mesh. That is going to be a bit tricky. So yeah, just wish your multiplayer course was Steam, not the Unity services. I mean, most of it you can, the core of it, netcode for game objects, that one is independent of whatever platform you choose. So basically for Steam, the only thing you need to change is use the Steam relay instead of the Unity relay. Beyond that, everything is exactly the same. So yeah. Thank you for everything you've done in your channel. Oh, that's awesome. So I really appreciate it. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the videos. The videos only exist because I make them and because all of you watch them. So yeah, thank you all for being here. How to make games safe from hacking? For the most part, you can't. I mean, just look at popular games like Call of Duty. They've got billions and billions of dollars and they cannot defeat hacking. So for you as an indie dev, I would say don't worry about it. Just people are going to crack your game. They're going to do something. So unless you are working on multiplayer game, if you're making something single player, then I would say don't bother about it. Voice very good. Is it? Because I'm actually pretty sick, so I'm a bit messed up, but okay. All right. Okay, so I think that's gonna be it. It's been 2 hours. It's 1 p.m. So my dogs are already wanting some food. So yeah, okay. What's the difference between Steam and Unity Relay? There's really no difference. They both do the exact same thing. So yeah, just using different tools, but yeah. Okay, all right, so I think that's gonna be it. Thankfully, this was a productive thing, so I was able to dynamically generate a new kitchen object, generate a new recipe, deliver that recipe. I was able to convert that into a single file and upload that file onto user-generated content, and I was able to download it and load it in here, so yeah, that was a good research stream. So yeah, right. All right, so yeah, my voice messed up, so that's gonna be it. So let me just set everything up, put up the background, and all right, okay. Saw the live stream so late. I mean, there's a VOD, so it's going to be saved. So if you want to rewatch it and see how I work in real time, then go ahead and watch that. All right, so let me just set everything up and like that. All right, so yep, that's gonna be it from me. I really gotta go eat, gotta go do something. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining me on this random live stream. Hopefully there will be more in the future. So yeah, all right, so thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.